Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Rajesh,
Okay,
audible.
okay, got it. So this chart which we see from the election commission of India, this data was displayed by Google for all the states, whatever is here. This was displayed by in the Google search page, like how we see the temperature result. And at the bottom they displayed that these data are the feed from the ACI, which means Google does not own this data. They do not
Mhm.
collect this data. They are just getting as a feed from some other third party system. In this case, they are getting from the authorized system, which is the ECI. The same way, this temperature, this 86-degree means Google is telling 86 means Google does not have a person who collects this temperature. This is done by some other person, which is weather.com. If we go to weather.com, we will see the same value. But what Google is doing is they collect the data from weather.com. See here, same thing. It's giving much more details. Uh, the same forecast will be there, but it is more detailed way since it's their own site. From here, Google collect the data and they display it here. Many of the times we can see this with temperature, with cricket scores. Let's say World Cup is going on. If you go and search here, sometimes you will see the value in the result itself. You need not go into any website. So how these things happens? These are called the data sharing. It is not possible by everyone to to collect all the data by themselves. Example, Google cannot collect the data of IPL or whatever cricket match is going on throughout the world by sending out a representative, because it is not possible by everyone. They have to pay them, they have to send them there, and it is tough. Same way, they cannot collect all the temperature data across the globe. So we are dependent on other persons to get the data. How we get the data? Google goes on a call with the election commission. They go on a call. They tell that, hey, we need the data from morning till evening. I'll use your data and I'll display in the page. I'll give credits to you. At the bottom, I'll tell that these are from the ECI. How much do you charge me? The ECI tells that, okay, for every hit, every time you call us and you get a data, you have to pay like 20 paise per hit. Or every 1 hour, you have to pay like 1,000 rupees. Like that, there will be some dealing, some negotiation will happen. Once they are finalized, the ECI guys, they will give the credentials to the Google. What Google will do, they will write a simple program. They will hit the election commission website and they will grab this data. This data, whatever you see here, 10 is 1. So all this data they'll grab and they'll display there. The same way they have done for the temperature. What they have done, they are hitting the weather.com website and collecting the data for whatever city we are keying in here. This they pass to the weather.com and they send it. So this is the basis for the this is the first thing which made the persons or the application developers come out of their application and start relying or depending on other persons data. Until then, what was happening? Everyone were building their own websites. They were very particular that their website should be highly visited website, their website should be highly ranked, and all those things were there. But one point, it was saturated. They cannot provide all information. If I am going to open a website, I cannot provide you all the information. I cannot provide you cricket. I can only be specialized in one area. Either I can be specialized in collecting the temperature. So in that case, you will not come to me for all the datas. If you have to come to me for all the datas, I have to get tie up with everyone. All the it can be flights, it can be the temperature, all the vendors I have to tie up. I have to pay and use the data. One another example is hotel bookings. The hotel bookings and the travel website which you see, that is just a wrapper class. Like let's say hotel Trivago. If you see Trivago, they don't have any hotels or they don't have any data. They just have one plain website. When you ask something, they go into the third party and they fetch the data and then they display. If you ask for Indigo, they go to the Indigo website, but it is happening in the back end. So this is the primary problem for which the data sharing started between the applications. So multiple applications, they all started on a they tied up and they started sharing the data. This was this is the basis on which. So now we understand that the data sharing cannot be stopped. It has to be shared in this fast moving and expanding world. Now how do we share the data? That was the next question which everyone came up with. Okay, how do I share the data? If let's say I am having the temperature website, how do I share the data with you? I can share as an Excel. I can just provide you an export of Excel and I can send it to you, or I can send you a CSV file every day morning. I can send you a TXT file. And when can I send you the frequency? I can send you every half an hour. I can send you every 1 hour or once in a day. So these are the different options using, these are the different options where I can send you the data. Correct? Following with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That means the way the response in which format or the timing we are telling here, right, Rajesh?
Yes. You are
Okay.
having one website and you want to display the temperature data. In that case, you
Okay.
will ask me to give the temperature data. I will be giving you as Excel. You will use that Excel and you will import into your system.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the different formats. But one drawback with these formats, this way of data exchange, is I have to export every time. I have to write a. I mean, I'll write a program only once, but every time I have to export as an Excel, and I have to send it to you either through email or I can place it in a share folder. Then what you will do? You have to write a program to pick up that Excel, read the Excel, and then insert into your database and then show it to the user. This will take time. This is not an efficient way. So what they uh, discussed, okay, this is not an efficient way. We need some other way to handle this. So what they came up with, they the application owners, they said, can we transfer? Can we talk in same uh, same language? Can we talk similar language? Like you, let's have a standard. Let's have a standard template. You send in that format, and I will parse the format. So this is what they all discussed, and they didn't want Excel or any file. They wanted it to be real time. So what they came upon, XML. XML was thought as a medium using which the data can be transferred. So in XML, how do we transfer? This is an XML. We have a form.xml. That's the only XML we are using and we know. Let me open up.
Okay. Why they particularly chosen the XML, Rajesh?
At the time, only XML was known.
Okay.
XML, using XML, we can transfer the data in the network protocol. We can convert.
Okay.
I mean, we can. So this is then XML. This has a tag. So let's take one simple tag. Here, dependency is the name. Under dependency, group ID is a tag. Group ID, what is the value? org spring boot spring framework dot boot. That's the value. The same way, in this temperature, how the data will be transferred by the sender. One second. My son is actually he just typed something else. Okay, sorry for that. Uh, so there are now two parties. One is the sender, other is the receiver. So sender and receiver. Sender is the person, in our case, the weather.com, and receiver is the person, in our case, is google.com. Okay.
We are Google. Okay.
Yeah, because we are seeing that value in the Google here, which means Google is displaying here. And from the weather.com it is, and we are not into weather.com website, correct? We are in Google page. We are in Google search page, which means these results are coming inside the Google, but from weather.com. So here the sender is weather.com, the receiver is google.com. And the sender can send here. First, the sender will receive a request as location Pondicherry, because that is what I typed here. In the Google search, I typed temperature in Pondicherry. Google will trim this and it will send only Pondicherry to the weather.com. Because temperature is a keyword for Google search. It knows that I'm asking Google, but I'm asking Pondicherry. Google does not have an answer. It has to reach out to the third party. So the third party it will send a request. The request which will be sent by Google is location Pondicherry. Request from Google. Now, once the weather.com receives this request, weather.com is going to send back a response. What it will send back? What all we are seeing here? We see the temperature, we see the precipitation, humidity, wind, date, time, and status. It is clear. It was sent at 8 p.m. And 8 p.m. data. This is an 8 p.m. recorded data, and it is sending a list. You see this as a Java list. The list first object is 10 meter per hour, 9 p.m. Wednesday, 9381. This is the data in the first object list. List second object is this. So it sends as a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 record in the list. So the response is going to be big. The response will contain the temperature 86. Temperature. What is the next value? I'll just write 2, 3 and we'll stop it. And the precipitation. And it is 22. So this is how the response will be. The weather.com will send out a response in this format. This will be parsed, converted by Google, and they are displaying it in a beautiful way.
Okay.
Okay. So earlier in SOAP, the request and response or the data transfer was happening using XML. So everything, even now we use XML for data transfer wherever web services.
Okay. This format is XML format, right?
This is an XML format.
Okay.
Extensible markup language, XML. So this process of sharing the data through XML was called as web service. That's the first thing I wrote here. The SOAP client, SOAP is a simple object access protocol. This is called as web service, and this SOAP uses XML to transfer the data. Even now web services are there. Lots of web services are available, and we use data transfer. Web services are more secure. It is highly, it has a lot of its own features. We'll not go deep into that, but it has lots of features due to which we go into web service. But now REST service are also gaining equal popularity. With the reason being, REST are very easy for developers. Web services.
Rajesh, I have one question here. Um, um, in this example, the weather, I mean the temperature example, um, internally inside the network also in the company we can use it, right?
Uh, Means.
That means uh, before I asked you about the SOAP UI, we are building one federation
Oh, yes, yes,
application.
yes. Yeah, you mean to say without exposing to the external
Internet,
world?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we can. Let's say you have multiple departments and you want to transfer data between, or you have multiple applications. Let's say you have multiple applications and you want to transfer data between, let's say one HRM application and one payroll application. Now, HRM application and payroll has to talk to each other. In that case, we can use the web service. The
okay,
one advantage of this data transfer is the source application. Okay, here, what is the source? Weather.com, right?
yeah,
And the destination or receiver is Google. Where did I write? Okay, sender is weather.com and receiver is google.com. Do we know in which language the sender website is written? No,
no, we don't know.
no. And we also don't know what language receiver website is written. Correct?
Not sure. Yeah,
Not sure. We don't know.
we don't know.
So even the receiver and sender also might not know under which language the other website is written. Even Google might not know in which language the weather is written, and they might not know where how Google is using.
Yeah,
Correct.
yes.
So that is the advantage of web service and the REST service. We can make two applications written in two different language talking to each other. The
Oh, that
sender
means this XML format will be known by
languages.
all the languages.
Correct. Weather.com can be written in PHP, then Google.com can be in Angular or Java or Python. Still, all the languages in the world knows XML. That is the only, everyone knows XML. That is why we use XML format.
Okay.
So when all Google wants is on XML, he doesn't care how you are producing this XML. You can produce using PHP, Java, Python, Angular, not Angular, but however you want, you can produce this .NET. You can produce this XML. All Google wants is I want one XML like this using
And
whichever
one more
technology.
thing, we are sending something and we are getting response, but
Yeah.
we don't know the correct thing about XML. The guy who knows little bit in XML will come to know what's the response, right? Otherwise, we doesn't know what's the response, right?
Yes, yes. Web service developers need to know XML. They have to know
Okay.
to read and parse the XML.
Okay, at least they have to come to know the XML, what's the thing here. For example, in my current project, I am using SOAP UI. At least I have to come to know the XML code, right? XML
Yes,
code are that. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. Some basic XML code you have to know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good, Rajesh. I'm
Okay.
clear. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the advantage of these web services across different technologies, the data can be shared. That is what it is. Now, this was the story goes good, and everyone were happy. Everyone across that technology, they were sharing the data, and it was all going good. Now, after some time, few people started again like, oh my god, it is very tough to use XML. It is very tough to transfer the data in XML. So what should I do? I want to make this a simple one. Like how from the servlet Spring came. We were writing a huge servlets, and someone again came and said, why are we writing this much? And so Spring was introduced. The same way, when XML was used for the data transfer, few guys came up and they said, let's go for a simple format. That is what it is, REST. they introduced REST, representational state transfer. Here, the data is transferred not through XML but through text, simple
Okay.
text. It's a normal text.
The difference between the web service and REST API is just the in the REST API we can come to know what's the thing is going on. In XML we have to know a little bit about XML.
Correct.
Okay.
So here text, or we call it as JSON, which is JavaScript object notation. It has no link with JavaScript. Using the keyword, don't think we are using JavaScript. Just the name is JSON is JavaScript object notation, JSON. That's the format we use. We'll see how we use this. The JSON format is very simple. It just starts with an brace and ends with a brace. In the middle, we have. In the example, the request will be location colon Pondicherry. Is it very small?
Yeah, it's not. No, yeah, no, it's good.
Okay. So this will be the input format. Previously, we saw in XML there was a tag. Instead of that, we'll have this location as Pondicherry. And the output will be of same format. This is what we call it as REST JSON. This is the REST JSON format, and REST API will talk in JSON format. So far clear? Any questions?
I'm good, Rajesh. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see how to use this. We built a Spring Boot application. Don't say okay. We built a Spring Boot application. Now I'll create one domain. I'll create one domain, and I'll go. We created a REST controller here. I'll give here first number, the maths function whatever we wrote. First number, we'll give the second number, and we have the action, and we have a result. Okay, let's assume I'll have a domain like this, and I'll create a source, generate getters and setters. Okay, so once this is done, now I have to write a REST controller. Yesterday I showed you. Just we create a class and we give this annotation, and it will become a REST controller. We give a request mapping. It is same like the normal controller. Here the normal controller, request mapping, value, and method equal to. Same way, we give the endpoint. We are going to accept JSON. That is what here I said. Consumes means it is going to accept input as JSON. Output also it is going to produce JSON. Now we'll write the method name, and input JSON whatever it's coming, I am going to convert into this object. I'll show you what it means. This will be done automatically by Spring.
Okay.
And the output is also going to be a class, this class, the maths class. So I just gave a sysout. I am returning whatever is coming inside. This is a simple API I've written. And that's all, our API is done. Using Spring Boot, it is very easy to write a API. With Webservice, it is very tough. We have to writing a web service is okay, but consuming web service is very tough. We have to we have to generate a client, but how you test in the SOAP UI is different. That is UI, but the receiving party, right? In our case, the Google, if he is going to consume a web service, then he has to generate client classes. We have to have a stub. We have to have a skeleton. There is a lot of a structure. It has its own architecture. Web service is not so easy to consume directly. Now our API is ready. I'll go to local host 8080 slash test API. Okay, what it is telling, content type not supported because the REST API I cannot access it from the web page. So I go to this ARC, which is same as Postman. I give the endpoint here and I call the post method. Here I have a body. In the body, I select the application slash JSON and raw input. And in the content, I have to pass the JSON value. Here, what are the attributes? First number. So I will give here first number. Second number. And the action. Add. That's all. If I send this, let's see whether it is.
Rajesh,
Yes.
could you please run one more time this one?
Yes. I have run it now.
Could you please close this one? Close means how you got this?
Which one?
This one, yeah, this window. I didn't see.
This is an ARC. This is like Postman. Advanced REST client.
Okay. We have to install this one for every system. We will have it.
Yes, we have to install. It's a free tool.
Okay.
So after installing, we have to do a new request post method here, and in body
This is the URL what we
wrote
want.
here. This is the URL we wrote. Test API.
Test API. We are going. It's a request, right? Okay, it's a request. And from this ARC, we are going to get the response, right?
Yes. So this is the request. I am sending 10, 10, and add. And I see that 200 OK, which means a valid response. And I'm getting back the same with result. I didn't send result in the input, but since this domain, this Pojo is having a result, and it is coming back with a result.
My question here, Rajesh, how this ARC is interconnected with that one? Okay, by using this URL.
This URL.
Okay, this URL is going to check in the local machine of your machine, and then it's going to get okay.
Correct.
Okay. And the same thing, the same concept will work for SOAP also, right? SOAP UI.
No. Correct. SOAP in SOAP UI, here instead of JSON, you have to paste the XML, the entire XML request.
Okay.
You have to form the XML.
Okay. Could you please go to the request where you wrote in the Java? The request given. Did you give? Okay, you given the max class here. Okay, max class requested by. Okay, it is going to add. Okay, now I got you.
So this attribute will be matched inside this max class, and it will be setting in. Suppose if I give second number 1, there will not be any second number 1. So it is not coming back. Here we will add and we will return back. maybe that will make sense. So first number. So what we have to do, I want a result. Integer result equal to integer dot parse int of match class dot get first number plus integer dot parse int of match class dot get second number. Now I have to set this result inside the same class. Set result result, but it is an integer, so it will throw error. So string dot value of result. Now
In this request, we are going to write the other one,
that's
Rajesh.
all. No,
We
we are sending it back in the response. This is what it is being sent back.
we sent the max class as the response.
Request. This is the request. It came here as a request.
Okay.
We are adding and we are sending back as a response.
Where is the response? I can see at the rate request mapping.
Here.
Okay, the response entity. Okay. Okay.
So now if we run, if I give value, I should get an output. The addition of number. I would send 10 10 add. What is happening? There is some error.
Okay, Rajesh, after running this code, we have to go to that API, the tool API tool
Yes.
to get the response.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that means if you don't have the console access, just we are going to use this UI.
No, anyways, using UI only we can test the APIs. APIs cannot be tested in console.
My
Instead of
question here is
JSP,
rather
this is
my
acting as like
question.
a JSP page. Earlier we had the JSP, right?
Yeah.
We
My
built
question
a,
here is we are getting the result in the core in the
here. See here 20. If I give 10 and 10, the result is 20. If I give 11 and 10, the result will come as 21. 21.
Rajesh, here my question is we can see the result in the Java code, right?
We can see the result. I can give a console here and we can see it.
Okay.
Okay. You think this as the weather.com.
Okay.
This guy as the google.com. He cannot go into weather.com's server and see the log. He will not have access. In this case,
Okay.
we are having both the applications, so we can go to console here and we can check. But ideally, this is the weather.com guy. He will not give access to his server, right? We cannot go into his server and see anything.
Okay.
So as a Google,
Just he will give the only the URL.
correct.
And then
This UI, this parameter, he will tell
okay.
there is a API which is available. You pass these parameters and hit, you should get an output. That's all.
Okay.
That is what he will tell.
Okay. Okay.
So this is how the data is shared. Here the Google, this ARC is a google.com.
Okay.
If he is going to send wrong parameters, in this case, it is going to throw an error, internal server error. In this case, Google is going to contact them and tell, hey, I sent you this input, but you are throwing me error. Why? If I ask, he will debug. He will check this with the input. What is the domain name? He will check that. Okay, the first parameter should be first name. Second should
Okay.
be second number. Why did you send us second number one? It is your
Okay.
side fault. My API is working
That
correctly.
okay. That is the API. Whatever the first number, second number action. This is the request what we are giving in Google,
Yeah,
and the response also we are getting in the Google.
correct. So the
Okay.
weather.com will tell to Google that this is how you have to send it. This is the name. This is the
Okay.
name. Suppose
And
that
we
the
can
Google
say the API as the one of the server. We can't say it's
API
server.
is a server. API is
Okay.
running inside a server.
Okay.
So the Google developer is responsibility to send the data exactly as it is expected. He
Okay.
cannot send some junk value, and if he is going to send junk value, he will get an error only.
Okay. If you have any error, it is going to show like it's like error.
Yes, see here. I'll do number one. Okay, by mistake, the Google developer, he didn't follow the document. Document from the weather.com said that the first parameter should be first number. But Google guy, he is not following and he has given like number. Okay. That case,
Okay.
there is an error which is thrown. So what will happen? The Google developers will contact them and tell like, okay, I've got an error. That case, the weather.com is going to see here, see the console. He will tell, hey, what is happening? There is some error here. Something you have sent us null. Did you send everything correctly? He will ask. In this case, he has this log also. So he is going to check. Okay, there is something in line number 18. He'll see. Okay, something is coming as null, which means you're not passing the data correctly. Can you double check from your end? That's what he will tell. So the
Okay.
Google developer have to again check in their end, and they'll find that okay, this is wrong. We have to send correct value. So in a few cases, they'll not send the like internal server error. They'll send exactly the message. Here the message is empty, right? They'll send the correct message that invalid numbers. Please provide valid values, blank number. Like that, they'll send it. Those are all error
Okay.
handling.
Yeah.
So with this one, the scope of data transfer has like it has improved a lot, and everywhere this is an inevitable. Everywhere we use REST API because it's the simplicity. If you can see, just in 5 minutes we built one API. I built one API, and I am able to hit and receive a response. It is so easy. That too in Spring Boot, it is very easy. In 10 minutes, you can finish up everything.
Okay. Just we can come to know that whether it's going to work or not.
Yes, yes. Because immediately you can hit from the API. So all you have to know is when you hit from, that is why we don't run in the console. We run in ARC or Postman thinking that he is a separate guy. He is an outside
Okay.
person who is trying to access our API. Let us say by mistake the weather.com guy has shut down the server. Now this Google guy will hit, and there will not be any, see, the requested URL can't be reached. So this guy will tell him, I'm trying to hit your API, but the service refused to connect. Oh, then he'll find out, oh, sorry, the API is down. I'll start it up.
Just here API we can say just it's like one of the URL also we can say like API, right?
Yes, yes, one URL also it is called API.
Yeah, whatever the thing, whatever the response we need from that URL, that URL is called API
Correct.
or web service.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. API is the
Yeah.
application program interface. Application programming interface. So
Okay.
API is the not UI. Instead of JSP page, we have this.
Okay. Yeah, it's clear, Rajesh.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So What else I had? Web service I covered, REST I covered. So web service I covered, REST I covered. These are all okay. So I think that's all. So I've covered the entire story of web service and REST service. Web service I'm not showing demo. It is if time permits, I will show it because that will take time. That will consume time, and that's all. I think yeah. So I think that's all I had for today.
Okay.
Yeah. So again tomorrow we'll meet then.
It's
Any
always so.
questions you have, you can ask.
REST API, the advanced is web service, right?
No, no.
No.
REST service and REST API both are same.
Okay, REST service, REST API are same.
Both same.
The advanced of this one is web service.
No, no. Oh, yeah, yeah, right. I mean, the initial version is web service. That is like a giant with
Okay.
lots of security features and tons of things. REST is just growing.
Okay,
REST,
before one is web service, now is REST service. Okay.
correct, correct.
Okay, I am confused. Okay.
Okay. The initial one is web service. That's
Yeah,
what
it's clear, Rajesh. Now I know, I came to know this web service, the REST APIs,
we,
and how it's
yeah,
working. Yeah.
since we are here, let's try out some open web service in the market. REST API for testing. Let's see if there is some dummy APIs available. Test your front end. Okay, give it a try. Okay, so they have this URL here. Let's try to hit this and see. I'm not able to copy. So I'll go to the ARC. So using URL is https://req/API/users page equal to 1. This is what they are giving. I will just hit without any input, just a dummy JSON, and I'll try to hit it. ID created. So they are doing something here. We have to, I'll call list user. What is the API? Bottom it is okay, but I don't see the list users. Here it is. They are returning something. See, this is the JSON.
Yeah.
Page 1 per page 6. So these are all the values in the domain. We don't know how which language they wrote, but they are returning as a JSON. They are returning the image path also. So if we click the image, I can use this path to display in my website. The image also can be displayed. If I see what is there in this image. Okay, here it is. Some image is there.
Okay.
So like that, this is the documentation for this particular REST service. Single user not found. Suppose in the bottom left you see API/users/23. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see.
Let's try to hit that. A, API slash user slash 23. It should tell user not found. Dot in API slash user slash 23. Single user not found. API slash users slash, okay, 4 not found. That's what it is returning. Not found. So we can also update. We can create. We can update using REST API. So all these things are there. Okay, I think that's all. You got an idea, right?
Yeah,
How it
it's good.
works.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay then. So we'll meet up tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay then. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.